Okay. Explain yourself now.
Well, it all started when I was 4. No.
These will be outtakes.
Explain yourself.
Yeah, what were you talking about? Bismarck Combat Sports.
Oh, and my subtle revenge. Yeah. So I had my guys that I had trained with that believed in me, and they knew me because I had made them champions. So my guys are very loyal and very indebted to me because I have never made them pay for any of the knowledge except for one steak dinner after every one of their fights, win or lose. That is the payment that they pay to train with me. So everything else that goes into it came out of my heart, my soul, and I really dedicated myself to each one of my guys because when Rhonda's mom dedicated herself to me the way she did, that
By what? Taking you in and
yeah,
accepting you?
by taking me in and accepting me, because when I started training with her, I was just another guy. I was just another student. I was just another body to roll around and throw around. But
To her.
yeah, I was just another student. And then her instructor, or her O-sensei, which is our grandmaster of the school, he pulled me aside, and at the time he pulled me aside, I was really frustrated with things, both in life, in my personal life and in my classroom life. I was really frustrated because I didn't feel I was getting what I was looking for. And what I was looking for was a more advanced system to destroy my opponents with in MMA. Because I had just got done fighting in 2 MMA tournaments down south and did really well. I was a licensed professional at the age of 17. And then I moved up to North Dakota, and that's where I got with the Rousey family.
What year was 94? Or what year was it?
93.
93 to 90, what was it?
97. Yeah.
97.
So when I came up here, I came up to North Dakota the same year that they came up. And it was also the same year that the UFC was born.
93?
Yep.
Yeah.
When the UFC was born, my life with the Rouseys was born. And I knew what I wanted to do. I knew.
Dude, how messed up is that? You have a whole, kind of a UFC history.
Oh, yeah.
And then for that to kind of correlate with hooking up with her. And
the thing about it is that
it all connected.
I knew a lot of things.
Yeah.
I knew a lot of things in advance, and I even told her about these things. And I told her 20 years later, I'd come find her and I'd tell her.
Yeah.
And she would see that I would be telling her the truth about everything. And that I would impress her. I would surprise her. Because I wanted to be the most loyal student that Dr. Rousey and Maria DeMars has ever had. I wanted to be the one that really sticks out. Because the way I viewed it is, one, I was embarking on new territory at the time that nobody was willing to do. Only the truly courageous, only the real gladiators, the real warriors, the ones that were accepting death in battle. These are the ones that were stepping up to do the ultimate fighting challenge. These are the ones that said, okay, we're going to fight in a cage, and we're going to fight this way and that way. Ooh, mind you, I'm 17 years old. I'm a professional of this. I just got done winning 2 tournaments, 2 8-man tournaments in a 4-month period. And I had some very good training in judo. I had some very good training in jiu-jitsu. I had some very good training. At the time when I came in, I was a grappling phenom already.
No.
Grappling was my strong point. Grappling is where I knew I was going to take a beating before I could get in on somebody, because my striking wasn't advanced enough to even defend myself. So I was going to take a beating, but as soon as I got my hands on you, it was over. There was no doubt. No hesitation, no question. As soon as my hands got put on you, it was done. As soon as I made physical connection from body energy path to body energy path, and there was one connected source of energy, it was my source of energy, and I controlled the entire fight. So my grappling was already far advanced. I was already really intelligent when I moved to North Dakota.
Where did you move from? Where you were in Indiana?
Yeah, I was in Evansville, Indiana. I was homeless in Evansville, Indiana, and
What year was this?
90, 92?
Huh.
91 or 92,
Yeah.
something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, I was homeless, and I got a job working at a Burger King, and I worked for long enough, maybe 2 weeks for my one check. I grossed in, because I was homeless, I could stay there as many hours as I wanted, and I actually slept in the rafters in the bathroom after they closed. I was in the restaurant.
That was crazy.
I was homeless.
Yeah.
I was homeless, and it was getting cold out. It was getting really cold out. It was like towards the end of October, beginning of November.
Yeah.
And it was horrible. I hated living on the streets. I really no. I mean, you go to work, you get off work. There's no place to sleep. You're in a city, and you don't. And it's so cold. You're gonna freeze through the night, and because you're gonna freeze, that your body's not gonna work the way you want it to when it's time to go to work. So you've got to strategically find a place to sleep close to work so you can go to work. And that's where you're going to eat. That's where you stay warm. That's where you have warm clothes on. Work is actually, when you're homeless, work is a paradise.
Yeah.
It provides for you. It even provided me a place to stay.
Yeah.
So I hung in there. I survived and made enough money to buy a bus ticket one way. From Indiana to North Dakota.
Why North Dakota? Why did you choose North Dakota?
Because my biological mother was going
Okay.
to college there, and
Okay.
me being homeless, in having no family, my father turned me away. He became, he basically left me for dead. There were several situations that I had gotten into that I really were life-threatening situations, and I needed help, and I call him. And he told me, you got yourself in it, get yourself out. This is the warrior way. It was very, very hard to deal with. Very rough. I did some very immoral things to get a place to stay for the night.
I'm sure one has to.
And it's nothing I'm ever very proud of, but it did help make me stronger as a person.
Yeah.
Because of it. And then when I came up here, I already had a pissed off mentality. And my biological mother and I did not see eye to eye. I kind of blindsided her. She was coming out of class at her college. I tracked her down. I wasn't supposed to know where she lived or stayed or did or what she did for work or any of that. I was not supposed to know any of that because her and I are feudal enemies, and everyone has tried to keep us apart for so long. Okay. With that being said, I tracked her down at a local college in North Dakota, and she was going to school there. All right, so I first went to her home address, and she was in school, so I went through all the proper channels to find out what class she's in and everything. Went to that class, waited until it got out, doors open. Here she walks right out, and I'm standing in front of her in the freezing cold of North Dakota.
Did you end up with the information of where she was at?
I did my recon. Recon.
So basically, it's kind of like she was trying to shield you from something that she couldn't because of where you came from.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And so when I found her, I basically told her, I'm like, I tried to make amends with her because I needed her, she needed me, kind of thing, blah blah blah, and it wasn't working out. And I was getting really just enrageful, angry, where it got to the point where I was almost ready to take her life a couple times. And finally, she finally broke after so many frickin' stubborn years, and she said, "What do you need from me?" That was the first time she ever really truly talked to me about what I need from my mother. And I said, because my mother was a prostitute when I was a kid. We were homeless, and she did things for a place to stay. And my father was away in some secret location doing some secret underground government shit. And I would never get to see him again for a very long time. So me and my mother, my biological mother never saw eye to eye, and I never really had a mother until I came to see her this last time. But it wouldn't be her that turned out to be my mom. It would be somebody much more important to me that would secure my future, that would secure my legacy, that would secure any kind of absolute help that I would ever need. She gave me peace. She gave me structure. She gave me discipline. She taught me how to respect a woman because I didn't know what one looked like. She taught me how to love a mother because I never had one. She taught me the finer, key important elements in life because that was part of the deal. I would accept all of that on the condition she would train me. If she would just train me. If she would just train me and give me the secrets that she had as a legend. I knew going into a real true warrior spirit culture as gladiatorship, I would need to know what it's like to be at the top because I didn't plan on taking any kind of U-turns. I committed myself to mixed martial arts.
Right.
I was going to die doing it. When you understand a level of commitment like that, also understand I was 17 years old. There's not many 17-year-olds who have their head wrapped around something so serious. That right there says I was different than everybody. And I've always known I was different. Ever since I was fucking young, I've always known I was different. Now, my path comes to training in the one thing I'm already naturally good at from doing years and years of grappling education. Now I'm going into an area where this is my calling, this is who my trainer is, this is the fuel that lights my fire. And so anyway, I learned very quietly under her tuition.
At what point did you realize that of where your training was coming from? Because you didn't know right at first, did you? Of her credentials, of where she came from.
No, I had no idea. To me, when I first met her, first of all, I thought, Jesus, she's small.
Well,
she's a judo instructor, and she's that small. This already has success written all over it. Because judo, if you know anything about judo, the inventor of judo, Jikaro Kano, was a very small Japanese guy. And there's old black and white footage of him going around Japan beating various Japanese martial arts disciplines. I mean, old black and white footage, no sound to it. And then he's the father of judo. And after he taught it for so long, he ended up taking on the best judo masters in Japan. And the black and white footage is there of him. To watch him work at such a tiny little man versus all these big guys that are using real powerful techniques. Like they're hurting their people when they throw them into the ground. They're meaning to end their people. Their psychology is set in a war mentality. Okay. Well, with Jikaro Kano, when he come in, not only was he so much smaller, but he was so much lighter. For the first time in his career, he wasn't throwing guys. He was sliding around them. When they went to go throw him, he'd slide right across their back like there was oil on their back. I mean, his mastery, his artistry, the way he did judo, all of that, it was absolutely gorgeous to go back and look at the tapes to see. You want to see what real judo looks like at its purest form? Like, it's amazing to watch this 5 foot, however many, 2-3 inch guy totally wrap is just everything. The beauty of it is just, it's seeing is believing. Seeing is believing. You see